Hi, this is Jim Stewart with SAP Cookbook. I want to tell you how I got into SAP SRM. I was, this is basically, it's a story in self-nomination. It's a story in cross-training, because this I think is now more than ever is so important that we understand how this works, how to move in and out of skill sets quickly. Go back to flashback now to 2002. Boy, 7 years, that's a long time. 7 years ago, I was working in I was doing technical work, SAP workflow. I was helping companies, largely I was working sort of in the procurement space, purchase recs, purchase orders, looking at MRP and automated demand and this kind of a thing. And I got a call from a recruiter saying, hey, there's this thing, it's called EBP. Do you know what that is? And I'm like, no, I've never heard of it. And this recruiter said, well, it's kind of like, it's in purchasing, it's web-based, and it's got some ITS, it says ITS, workflow. I'm like, well, these are things I know very well. And she's like, well, do you want to interview for it? And I said, sure, I'll try it, So, I couldn't, there was almost no information available on EBP, almost none at all. None whatsoever, literally. I mean, maybe there was product information on SAP's website, but I said, what the heck? I was confident in my abilities, in my internet workflow, fine. And so when I took the call, I was in fact completely honest. I've never even heard of this, but I'm really solid in these other skills. And they said, well, you want to give it a try? And I said, absolutely, I'll be there in a couple of weeks. So getting started on that project, there was a lot of learning involved, but in working in SAP, you're learning anyways, or that's the core skill that we're talking about. Is you go in every day prepared to learn something new, and your success in SAP is, for the most part, is directly linked to your ability to learn things quickly and adapt to change. So. I wanted to tell you the story because maybe it sheds some light on the more successful paths in SAP, are learning, going after new areas, new products, and it gets back to sort of self-nomination and standing up and saying, "Yep, I can do that," or if you're on a project and something is slightly outside of your area, don't shy away from it. If it's totally outside of your area, if you're the SD guy and they need help in SRM, sure, I can do that. So that's my story of self-nomination. It might sound like I lucked into it kind of story in terms of SRM, but there's a lot of people in IT and SAP as well who, excuse me, if somebody says, have you done this, or do you want to do it, they end up, there's a lot of self-doubt, like if they don't have, like they feel like they need to be certified, I don't have the certification, or I've never been to the SAP training, then they're going to be hesitant to move into a new area. And I really think that I would encourage, if this has been your way of thinking, I would encourage you to start jumping in and digging yourself a hole maybe a little bit, and then try to climb your way out of it. I think you'll learn things faster, and I think you'll be in the end you'll have more opportunities. So to finish off my self-nomination as an EBP person, EBP turned into SRM, which is now a very successful product for SAP, and it turned into my biggest consulting area. In my SRM cookbook, which were basically my notes on my first project, turned into a best-selling SAP book. So self-nomination can have unintended consequences, and those consequences might be success and lots of demand for your time, and things you may not have thought could ever have stemmed from a simple initiative of saying, yep, I can do it. So this is Jim Stewart. I want to try to keep these videos as short as possible, but I hope I can encourage you to do some self-nomination and do some cross-training this week. So with that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.